Hey everyone, welcome to day number 4 in the I Wait Project video series. Today it's all about verse number 4 from Psalm 27. And David writes this: "One thing I have desired of the Lord, that will I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple." So David is contemplating on the goodness of God, and he reveals that his desire of the Lord is not for extreme wealth or notoriety or fame, but what he actually wants of the Lord is to be where God is. He wants to be in the presence of the Lord, in the house of the Lord. This is what he is seeking. This is what he's going after. This is what he's throwing his whole weight behind. He wants to spend all of his time with God. Now, if we go back a couple verses, he makes the great statement that the Lord is his light and his salvation and also the strength of his life. So he doesn't have to fear anyone or anything. And he reflects on how God has protected him in the past and how even in the future, when people will attack him or come up against him, he can be confident in who God is and that God will never leave him. And as we continue on into this verse, we see that David's true desire and his heartbeat is for God, not necessarily for what God can provide, but for who God is. And something that's important for you to know about this verse is when you think of the temple or the house of the Lord that David is talking about, what may come to mind is that spectacular tabernacle or temple that Solomon built after David. And the one with the gold and all of the woodwork and just how magnificent it was. But this is not what David is referring to. He's referring more to the humble tent that was constructed. So he's not talking about the awesomeness of the woodwork and the gold work and the gild work. He's not talking about that. But what makes the tent awesome is that God dwells there. And that's where he wants to be. He wants to be where God is. And he says he wants to behold the beauty of the Lord. And this is not a beauty that is passing away or that is trendy or what everybody loves, but this is beauty that is from something that is completely pure and absolutely true. And yes, when we talk about beauty, we could talk about what we can see with our natural eye, how wonderful things are put together or how they're styled. But there's also beauty that cannot be seen with the natural eye when it comes to being in the presence of the Lord. And, sometimes when you talk about a person, you could just say, oh, they're so beautiful on the inside. Their personality, their character, something about them just makes them glow from the inside. Well, can you imagine God, who is absolutely holy and pure? David says that he wants to behold this beauty, the beauty of who God is. He is grateful and he's thankful for what God provides, but he's more enamored with who God is and just the light that emanates from the person of God. So he wants to behold the beauty of the Lord and he wants to inquire in his temple. So he wants to reflect and consider who God is, and he wants to know more about God, his heart, and his ways. And listen, how do you learn more about a person except in their presence? That's why getting to know people, spending time with them is so important, because you learn more about who they are and how they respond. And there's more you can learn in person than through a text. Okay. We use emojis and all of that, but it's nothing like seeing, that flicker in someone's eye or to see their disposition. There's something really wonderful about being in a person's presence. And David is conveying that to us, that as he is in the presence of God, he wants to learn more about that. And he wants to learn more about who God is. So I pray today that as we take this reflection from David, that our own relationship with God would not be merely transactional, only for what he can do and what he can provide, but that we would fall in love with him and that we would want to be where he is. And the beautiful thing about this is that in Christ, in relationship with Jesus Christ, we have his spirit with us. So as we go, we can become more aware and be more, you know, honored of God's presence with us, and just know that there is nothing that can come up against us that will overcome us when God is with us. All right. So be blessed today. And may you take that reflection for this season that you're in, that the beauty of God's presence cannot be matched. Nothing compares. And we need more beauty in our lives. There's so much in this world that can really weigh you down or bring you down, but the beauty of God will lift you up and enable you to radiate from the inside and to not only illuminate your own life, but shine in a world that so desperately needs it. Be blessed.